Hey there, we're going to start an experiment today, building some new beds for the fall in a very different way, and I'll explain how we're going to do that. But let me talk about the area first we're going to be working on. And if you guys have been following along, this is that last strip of land that we have here at the end of our block, or end of the field. So over here are the sweet potatoes and the sweet corn behind there. And so this area here has been cover crop and other stuff growing here, but we've just been letting it go and we're keeping it mowed and trying to keep the soil biology active. So we're going to transform this into beds for blueberries. And it's going to be a little bit different of a process, a little bit experimental, but I'm going to show you guys. Man, urban farming, there's so much noise around here. Let me move the camera a little bit first. There's like cars, there's a guy pressure washing over here. Let me move the camera. All right, so hopefully that's a little bit less noisy. The key to this project is we're really trying to be resourceful and use the things that we have on hand. We just got a lot of wood chips delivered, and we've been asking tree companies for a while and they didn't have any, and then all of a sudden like everyone came and this one company brought 2 huge trucks. So we have a ton of wood chips and we have time on our hands. So a couple things that we're trying to do here is we're trying to occultate or kill all the grass and all the cover crop and everything that's growing out there, so we have a clean stale seed bed. We also need to build some organic matter out there, and the other thing is we need to try to lower the pH, because we're going to be putting blueberries out there and they like a lower pH, and we have high pH soil here. So what we're going to do is we're going to first mow as close to the ground as we can. Then we're going to add some compost that we have that we've been making here on the farm, and it's not quite finished, but it's very active biologically, so we're going to put that down. We're going to put down some other amendments, and then we're going to lay down a thick layer of wood chips, and then we're going to wet it down and then cover it with a tarp, and we're going to leave that for a few months and try to let it break down and sort of compost in place and try to get as much as much as we can out of the wood chips, essentially. And when we're done, we'll just make holes, we'll pop the blueberries in, and then we'll probably add another dose of wood chips on top, and the whole thing's just going to be wood chip with the blueberries in there. And it should be very low maintenance, and hopefully we'll get what we need. But it's a little bit of an experiment because I've never put a tarp on top of wood chips in this fashion and try to compost in place, sort of. And I don't know, we'll see how it goes. All right, so Gene started mowing here. He's going to try to get down as close as we can, and we're going to drop all the grass clippings right in place. We need to add some nitrogen here to work with the carbon from the wood chips. So we're going to be leaving the grass clippings in place. We're going to also be adding some other stuff too to try to help that breakdown. All right, so we got this all mowed down as low as we can get it, and we're going to add some amendments. So things we're going to add today, we're going to add elemental sulfur, which we add pretty much everywhere on the farm. We have super high pH here. We knew that from a soil test we did earlier in the year. And so we're going to put that down. And we're also low in sulfur, so that works for both things. It adds sulfur and lowers the pH. We're also going to put down some feather meal because we have it on hand. We're trying to add some nitrogen because we're going to be putting a huge dose of carbon with all those wood chips. So we want to try to make that balance there and create that compost to happen and just have nutrients in the soil, so when we do plant the blueberries, they'll be all set. So I'm going to spread out the sulfur and the feather meal. All right, so I got that all out on the field, and so now we're going to try to add some other stuff. We're going to add some grass clippings that we've gotten from some other place. We did some mowing. We're just trying to get as much organic material and some nitrogen in there as possible. So we're going to put down some grass clippings, and then we're going to put in some actively composting compost as well. All right, so we got down the amendments, we put down the grass clippings. Gene's been making compost here as fast as he can, and it looks amazing. It's a little chunky, but it's okay because we're gonna give this plenty of time to break down under here. So the benefit of this, obviously we're getting a lot more organic matter, but this is also, actively composting material, and so there's a lot of good biology in here. And we're hoping that will sort of inoculate the soil and just get things going as much as possible. So we don't have a ton of material to add, but we're just gonna try to coat the surface just to sort of build layers here and kind of just build a big compost pile out here. That's sort of the idea, using just what we have on hand. All right, so we got the compost down a thin layer just across the whole area, as you guys can see. Just trying to inoculate the soil, keep the biological processes happening, and just get more organic matter down. And so we're just gonna water this really heavy just to get the ground a nice good soak, and then we'll lay down wood chips. So we got the water running out there, and Gene's starting to move some wood chips over, and we just got a very busy day on the farm. Besides this project, the interns have flipped, I don't even know how many beds, maybe 7 beds. We just got a lot of planting we got to get done. So they're transplanting some lettuce in the tunnel right now, and I'm gonna get some seeding done. All right, so we had a pretty big day today, and just so you guys understand how many wood chips we got, I mean, look at this. This is only like half of what we got. We just got a bunch of deliveries all at the same time, so yeah, making use of what we got. Let me go show you how far we got today. We didn't get it finished. All right, so we didn't get this all done today. I didn't really expect to, just because we had a lot of other stuff to do today. We flipped and planted like 8 beds today, so just a ton of work. But this is how far we've gotten so far. So still got quite a bit to do, but we'll get after that in a few days. We'll see you then. All right, it's been a couple days now, and we came back and got all the wood chipping done, so check it out. All right, so we're just running the sprinkler for a while here, just to wet it down before we tarp it. And so I think I'm gonna call this the reverse lasagna. Let's go with that. So essentially, like with lasagna beds, you usually put down a carbon layer and then you put your compost on top. We're kind of doing the opposite way around here, but it is layered. And basically, we're just trying to get as much carbon material broken down as we can in place, take advantage of the wood chips, which are a waste stream in our, in our community here, and try to turn that into soil. And at the same time, we're gonna do that occultation step by tarping. So we'll be creating soil, smothering out weeds, and all that great stuff right in place. So as I said, we're gonna water this down as much as we can today, and we're gonna put a tarp on it, and we might periodically pull the tarp off when it rains or something, or maybe we'll irrigate just to get more water on there as needed. So we got the tarp down, all laid out. Should be good. Again, we're doing blueberries in here in the fall, so we're gonna let this hang out till probably October-ish, and just check on it. Probably add some water as we need to, just over the course of the next few months, and should be good. What I wanna get at with you guys here today is that you don't have to follow specific models and specific routines that you see other farmers doing. They're a good place to start, but once you understand the basic principles of composting and soil building and stuff like that, you can experiment a little bit and you can make things work, and that's what we're trying to do here. And when you're talking about regenerative agriculture, the more waste streams that you can pull in from society, from your region, from your community, the better. The wood chips were waste streams from local tree companies. The feather meal is a waste stream from a local chicken facility. All the sulfur was mined and brought in, but we needed to add the sulfur anyways. And so, grass clippings and compost that we made on site, that's all stuff that we have here and that we generate ourselves, and that's really special. So I've never done this before. We'll see how it works, and I will definitely keep you guys posted, but I just want to show you a little alternative plan here, trying to use what we have on hand to try to keep the cost down as much as possible. And when you have an abundance of something, try to put it to work. So I'll keep you guys posted. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you in the next one. Just like each section could be time lapse. I didn't tell you this, so. You know what? I'll just set up the time lapse.
Okay.
And then maybe I'll do it. I don't know. All right, let me just film what we're doing, and then let me just film what we're.
You could do a film lap. Go down on the other end.
Yeah, maybe.